Namah Parvati Pataye Govindanam Sankirtanam.
Namaste everyone. I'm very happy to have you all here again for this Bhagavatam. It has been a very long time. I went to India this winter and the trip was very divine and very good. So before going to Bhagavatam, we will start with the invocation. We'll start with the prayer. Om Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chadudbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopaşantayem Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Guruve Sarva Lokanam Vishaje Bhavaroginam Nidaye Sarva Vidyanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha தென்னாடுடைய பெரியவா போற்றி எந்நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி சர்வஜ்ஞா சர்வவ்யாபி பெரியவா சரணம் மாயப்பிறப்பருக்கும் மகா பெரியவா அடி போற்றி ஜன்மாத்யஸ்ய யதோ அன்வயாதிதரதஸ்சார்த்தேஷு அபிஜ்ஞஸ்வராட் தேனே பிரம்மஹ்ருதாய ஆதிகவயே முஹ்யந்தி யத் சூரயः तेजो वारिमृदां यदा विनिमयो यत्सर्गो मृषा दाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तगुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. So it has been a very long time that now we are starting Srimad Bhagavatam. See, actually, Srimad Bhagavatam is a divine text where, the Lord, Krishna or the Supreme Lord, he appeared in the form of this scripture, in the text. So many Mahans, so many sages, so many sadhus, they have recommended that we have to form a deep bond with this sacred scripture, with this Srimad Bhagavatam. See, while everything in our life, changes, Srimad Bhagavatam, the vision, it lends us, remains a constant source of inspiration, strength, as well as wisdom. So this is how, have to have Bhagavatam always at our home, or we have to chant at least one slokam of Bhagavatam. At least we have to hear the Bhagavatam stories. That's our very punyam. We add lot of punyam hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So in the last session, we started the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the second canto, we saw how Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma has got 4 faces. So Chaturmukha Brahma, how Brahma has created the universe. So he created Nava Prajapatihal. We have seen the Nava Prajapatihal. And how about Varaha Avataram, Yajna Varaha Murti? Varaha Avataram in a very, brief form. So it's like, this, the whole thing is Vidura Maitreya Samvadam. It comes under Vidura Maitreya Samvadam. So there is a story. Actually, there is a story behind this. This Varaha Avataram was heard by Vidura from Maitreya. Bhagavan, Lord Krishna, made Vidura to hear from Maitreya. There is a story behind this. We will see this. See, when Lord Krishna in Dwapara Yugam, when Lord Krishna went to Vaikuntham, before going to Vaikuntham, after this Krishna Avataram, that is when he started to Vaikuntham, he called Uddhavar and said, this Yadava Kulam, which, this his Kulam, this Lord Krishna's Kulam is Yadava Kulam, is going to be destroyed by Brahma Sabam. Brahma Sabam means curse. It's a curse. So you go he asked, that is Lord Krishna asked Uddhava, and asked Uddhava to go in search of Vitura and ask him to approach sage Maitreya. See, sage Maitreya is at Haridwar. So you go and search Vitura, okay, and leave him to Maitreya. Leave this Vitura, sage Vitura, to Maitreya. And he also says, this Lord Krishna, he also says that, I feel so sad. I feel so, sad to leave Vitura and go to Vaikundam. Maitreya was Parashara's disciple. Krishna said, I have asked Maitreya to teach the Bhagavad Gunam or this Bhagavatam to Vitura. So Uddhava, go and search Vitura. So Uddhava went in search of Vitura, and at last he found him near the banks of Kalindi River. Near the banks of Kalindi River. So Vitura was taking bath there, and Uddhava was there standing in the banks of Kalindi River, and he says, Hare Namaha. And hearing that, Vitura also says Hare Namaha. He could realize that Uddhava has come. So Vitura hugged Uddhava. They know each other, so they hugged. Vitura hugged Uddhava, and he was very happy to see. And Vitura inquired about Lord Krishna. How is Lord Krishna at Dwaraka? When, see, Uddhava was a great devotee. He was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. And, when he couldn't speak, because Uddhava knows that, Uddhava knew that Lord Krishna has gone to Vaikundam. So when Vitura asked about inquired about the messages of Lord Krishna, Uddhava was unable to answer. He was unable to answer immediately due to the, he got excessive, due to this excessive anxiety, at the remembrance of the Lord. So now here, at this point, Maharaja Parikshit, see, the whole Bhagavatam was told by Sukar to Parikshit, isn't it? So here, Maharaja Parikshit asked why Uddhava became unconscious, because he couldn't able to say anything to Vitura. He became unconscious at that time. So at that time, Sugar says that Uddhava was one, who even in the childhood, even when he was at 5, at the age of 5 years, was so absorbed in the service of the Lord Krishna. And when he was, when he was called by his mother for morning breakfast, he did not, he did not wish to have it. He was playing with the murti of Krishna. Lord Krishna was having the murti with him, and he was playing with the Lord, Krishna. So he was so attached. He was so attached to Lord Krishna. So the murti or the idol which we see now in Guruvayur, that's a Uddhava. Uddhava has played with that murti. The murti at Guruvayurappan, we are chanting Narayanyam in the Guruvayurappan temple, isn't it? The murti there in Guruvayur, Uddhava was playing with that murti when he was 5. So he was so attached. So Uddhava, thus, he served the Lord continuously, right from childhood. And even in the old age, that attitude of service, it never slackened. So as soon as he was, asked how about Lord Krishna, so he remembered everything. He remembered everything, how he was playing with Krishna, how he was with Krishna. He looks like Krishna. Uddhava actually looks like Krishna. So, he remembered everything. So he became so absorbed, in the nectar of remembering the Lord's lotus feet, and in the devotional ecstasy, and he appeared to be, going increasingly deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper into that ecstasy. So Vidura could understand, because, Vidura knows, Vidura is also a great sage, and he was also attached to Lord Krishna. So he understands, he could understand that, Uddhava had completely assimilated extensive love for the Lord. So he wiped his tears. He wiped Uddhava's tears, and Uddhava, soon came back to consciousness. Soon came back from the abode of the Lord, from the abode of the Lord to this human plane. He came back, wiping his eyes. He spoke to Vidura. These are all Bhagavata slogans. I'm just telling the meaning of all the Bhagavata slogans. So Vidura, he says, my dear Vidura, the sun of the world, Lord Krishna was set, and our house and all our house has now been swallowed by the, great snake of time. The time is running out. So, but when he was leaving his, body, he never even took Rukmani. He never even took Satyabhama or Devaki or Vasudeva or his 16,000 wives, along with him. But he remembered you. He never remembered all those people. But he remembered you, Vidura, at his last moment. He asked you, he inquired about you, and he asked you to meet Maitreya and get this Bhagavata Guna, Bhagavata. So Vidura got so much emotional. See, at this last moment of Krishna's, Krishna went to Vaikuntha, and even at the last moment, he remembered me, though I am only a Dasi Putran. So thus Vidura went to see Maitreya at Haridwar. So he was at Haridwar. Maitreya was sitting at Haridwar. He reached the mouth of the celestial Ganges. Haridwar, it's a very good place. Haridwar is a very serene place. So where Maitreya, the great, the fathomless learned sage of the world, was seated. His devotion was extremely, when we talk about Maitreya, his devotion was extremely deep. It was extremely deep, even when his mind, his mind remained still. It was not oscillating. Normally, the mind will be, you can close your eyes, you can close your mouth, you can sit like this. You can practice all this meditation, techniques and all. But the mind will always be oscillating. It's like a trunk of an elephant. If you have all seen the trunk of the elephant, it will be oscillating like this. The elephant cannot keep this trunk like that. It will be oscillating like that. The mind will be oscillating. But here, this Maitreya's mind, even everything is still. Maitreya's even mind is still. He was sitting like that. And Vidura, when he came to Maitreya, he prostrated before Maitreya and he was doing stotram. He caught hold of Maitreya, sage Maitreya. And he was, he was doing stotram to Maitreya. Vidura said, "Oh, sage Maitreya, you are a great philanthropic soul. This soul like you, the great philanthropic souls like you travel in this earth on behalf of this Supreme Personality of Lord to show compassion to all of us. We are all fallen souls, So compassion to this fallen souls who are, adverse to the sense of subordination to the Lord. So you are so compassionate. See, all the sages, all the munivars, and all the sadhus, like even Periva, they are all, traveling this world, traveling this earth because, they have to give something to us. We are all fallen souls. So they came here to the earth because of compassion and to give blessings and grace to us. So he says, Vidura says, he said, I have repeatedly heard, I have repeated Paravarenam Bhagavan. I have repeatedly heard about the higher and lower status of human society from the mouth of Vyasa. And I'm quite satisfied. But, he was talking about Brahmana Dharmam, Abrahmana Dharmam, But they have not satisfied me with the nectar of the topics about Krishna. So Krishna Katha, the stories of Krishna or the glories of Krishna is so powerful that simply by, entering into a person's ear, it can at once give deliverance. It can at once give deliverance from the bondage of family affection or attachment. So thus Vidura, he was praising Krishna Kathamritam and insisted Maitreya to describe Bhagavatam. So pleased by Vidura's humbleness, sage Maitreya started to say about the creation of the earth. So Maitreya told about the creation, how this Chaturmukha Brahma, Brahma came from the big lotus. When Brahma, when he came, he started thinking, where from I have come. He was searching here and there, but when he was struggling to know the answer, that where from I have come, the letters, he heard the divine voice, the letters, ta and ta. That is the 16th Akshara and the 21st Akshara in the Akshara Rasi. That is in the Akshara Rasi. He heard the word tapa. Tapa means it's a divine voice. So he started to do tapas, penance. For 100 years, he was doing tapas and got the darshan of Bhagavan, got the darshan of Vishnu, got the darshan of the Lord Vishnu, Lord. So Bhagavan, he ordered Brahmadeva, to create the universe. So with the order, so Brahma created the universe as per the order of the Lord, Bhagavan. So then he created Sanagadigal. Then he created Nava Prajapatigal. We have seen there, but here the Maitreya says this to Vidura. Then he created a couple, husband and wife, like Manu and Sattarupai. So he said, the earth was taken by Hiranyakshan, the demon, or the Asuran, or the demon, Hiranyakshan. And Swami took Varaha Avataram to rescue the Mother Earth. At this point, now Vidura asked Maitreya, who is this Hiranyakshan? Now Maitreya explains, in this canto, he explains who is Hiranyaksha. Diti is Dakshan's daughter. She is the mother of all the Asuras. Diti is the mother of all the Asuras. So once Diti's husband, Kashyapa, Diti's husband's name is Kashyapa. He is a sage. He is a very great Brahmanical sage. Once what happened when Diti's husband was doing Agnihotram, that is the sun was setting at the time. It's the evening time. And Diti's husband Kashyapa was sitting in trance. That is, he is doing his japam. And he is sitting in trance. Diti, seeing her husband, absorbed in trance, began to speak loudly. He's calling him. Diti, he is calling her husband. He says that, she got disturbed and she says to her husband that I want to sleep with her. You come now. Kashyapa is a great sage. He said, oh dear, see, this is the Sandhya Kalam. This is an evening time. What will happen in the Sandhya Kalam is the evening time. So everyone should know that in the Sandhya Kalam, we have to do only good things. We have to, lit the lamp. So only in the Sandhya Kalam, we are lighting the lamp. We have to pray. Because Lord Maheshwara, Lord Shiva Brahman, he is the king of Bhutaganas, isn't it? So he was sitting in the back of the bull, bull carrier, and he travels at the time. In the Sandhya Kalam, he travels at the time accompanied by Bhutas who actually follow him for their welfare. So Kashyapa, warned his wife. He was warning his wife that whatever sin we do in the Sandhya Kalam, it will be noted by Parameshwara himself, Lord Shiva, and will have a severe punishment. So that's why, everyone should know that, we have to sit in the Sandhya Kalam and do at least one slogam. At least, you have to chant slogam, you have to do Parayanam and everything, and you have to lit the lamp and sit before God, and you have to do good things in the Sandhya Kalam when the sun was setting. That is the period, Sandhya Kalam. So, this is not the appropriate time to sleep. So nobody will eat or sleep at that in the evening time, in the Sandhya Kalam. So it's not the right time to do, sleep. But, Diti, like a, shameless woman, what she did is, she caught hold of the dhoti of Kashyapa, and she says that you have to come and sleep with me. So this Brahmana sage, this Kashyapa, he understood. He understanding Diti's wife's purpose. Wife's purpose is to get a son, getting a son. So he was obliged. So he was obliged to perform this forbidden act. So he came. Kashyapa came. See, after that he said, you will get 2 sons. You will get 2 sons who will have asuric nature, means asuras. They are going to become asuras. They are going to become demons, and the whole world is going to get scared, and they are going to get afraid of their activities. So they will cause constant fear and constant worrisome, constant crying and constant lamentations to all the 3 worlds. Now Diti got trembled. Because see, every one of us, we also do all the bad things. We are not worried about, whenever we do the bad things, our mind is not stable. So we do all the bad things. And afterwards, and after doing the bad thing, we became worried, we became tremble, we tremble with fear, and we do all those things afterwards. So this is a prevention before cure. That is, we have to take the preventive actions. We have to know all those things, that we should not do all those things. We have to learn from elderly people or from our parents. We have to learn these things. So, but here, what happened? Diti got trembled. Now, trembling with fear, asked. But she asked her husband, like, may they never be killed by the wrath of, Brahmana devotees. It's so worse. So they should not be, put under Brahmana's curse. So hearing to Diti, Kashyapa, Kashyapa is also a great sage. See, the great sage or Mahan or Munis, they are also compassionate. So hearing to Diti, Kashyapa, the great, is a learned sage. He said, don't worry, because of your lamentation, because of your, what can I say, penitence and proper, deliberation, and also because of your unflinching faith in the Lord and your adoration for Lord Shiva and for myself, and myself, your grandson Prahlada will get a grandson, and his name is Prahlada. Your grandson Prahlada, he will be a great Bhagavatam. He will be a great Bhagavatam and a great devotee of Lord, and his fame will be broadcast equally with that of the Lord. So she is satisfied now. Then what happened? She became pregnant. Then the whole universe became dark because Diti became pregnant. Because Diti became pregnant for 100 years. So 100 years, it was all dark everywhere. And the Devas, they got scared. They got scared and they went to, Chaturmukha Brahma Devan. So they went to Brahma and, said, we are all scared. Why everywhere it is dark. Everywhere it became dark and we were all very scared. And now this Brahma, he said, don't worry. Didi became pregnant. That is why it's all very dark. Not worry. And he said, long back, he said how, this Didi became pregnant and who is Hiranyakashipu and how it became dark. He says, now the Brahma, Brahma started telling the story. He said, long back, I have created Sanagadi Munivargal. Once, what happened? They went to see Mahavishnu. Once they went to see Mahavishnu at Vaikundam. So, now he's explaining how the Vaikundam will be. Vaikundam explanation. Now, in the Bhagavatam, there are 12 slokams to describe how the Vaikundam will be. He is describing this Vaikundam now. There, the Swami is Mahavishnu, isn't it? Mahavishnu is wearing all the garlands made up of all the flowers like, Mandharam, Kundam, Champakam, Punnagam, so many flowers like that. Although they are all full of, transcendental fragrance, Swami gives special preference to Tulasi Male. He always takes that Tulasi Male and, sniff that. So here, in the Vaikundam, all the flowers, all the flowers are Chetanam. Chetanam means they are all conscious. They are all conscious. And they are all conscious of the austerities performed by Tulasi also. So because Tulasi is given special preference by the Lord. So in Vaikundam, Mahalakshmi is there. Isn't it? Mahavishnu. And Mahalakshmi is there. Lakshmi was wearing the lotus garland. And it's getting reflected, it's getting reflected in all the whole altar. And Mahalakshmi is goddess of fortune, isn't it? So, whose grace is always, wished by all the devas like Varuna, Kubera, and, Mahalakshmi is a goddess of fortune, isn't it? So she performs puja. Mahalakshmi, she performs, puja to her husband, Mahavishnu, in her own Lakshmi Vanam. Lakshmi Vanam is, that is a, garden. There is a garden in Vaikundam and there is a pool in the garden. And while offering, offering worship to the Lord, Mahalakshmi can see, her own reflection in the water, the reflection of her beautiful face with raised nose. And it appears that, she have become more beautiful because, because of the Lord's kissing her face. It was all explained in the Bhagavatam. Now, this Sanagadigal, this is the Vaikundam. This is the Vaikundam. And now the Sanagadigal, that is the 4 Sanat Kumaras, they entered this Vaikundam. They are only 5 years old. They are only 5 years old with the divine bodies, and they are all, Avadudal, the 4 boy sages. They are all only boy sages who had nothing to cover their bodies but the atmosphere. Look like 5 years old, even though they were the oldest of all the living creatures, They look like only a 5-year-old boys. And I had realized, these boys, they have realized the truth of the self. They are all jnanis. Sanagadikals are jnanis, When they are trying to enter, what happened when they are trying to enter this Vaikundam? When they try to enter this Vaikundam, the doormen there, standing Jaya Vijaya, they stopped them. Such saints were not to be forbidden to enter the kingdom of Vaikundam, because the Lord is always, anxious to see these sages, serve these sages like, Sanat Kumaras. But in spite of knowing all the fact, the doorman, that is this Jaya Vijaya, they astonishingly and outrageously, prohibited them from entering this Vaikundam, entering to Vaikundam. So the sages did not deserve such treatment, such treatment at their hands. So although they were all, although they were by far the fittest persons, when the Kumaras were forbidden entrance by the two doorkeepers of Mahavishnu, while other, divinities looked on, their eyes suddenly got red, turned red because of anger. And due to the great eagerness to see Mahavishnu, see the Lord, Sanagadigal said, these type of persons should no longer be in Vaikundam, because the persons of Vaikundam, are said to be so divine and equal to the personality of the Lord. We worship them. We worship all the devas. They are all equal to the personality of the Lord. So they cursed this Jaya Vijaya to take 3 janmams at earth, and in each janmam, an enemy to the Swami, to the Bhagavan. Now again, like Diti, this Jaya Vijaya, they got trembled. They realized their mistakes and, prostrated to Sanagadigal. But immediately, they are all Mahangal. As I said, they are all Mahan. So immediately, they became so compassionate. That is why they are called Mahangal. They will not keep the grudge. So this Sanagadigal, they begged. It's quite apt to that you have punished us for neglecting to respect the sages like you. But we pray to you that due to your compassion, at our repentance, the illusion of forgetting, the illusion of forgetting the Lord will not come upon us as we go progressively downward. So we should get killed by Swami only. We should get killed by the Lord only. This is what they asked to this Sanagadigal. So those doormen, this Jaya Vijayal, these doormen, they only have become Hiranyakshan and Hiranyakasipu. Now, so then again in the Ramayanam, next Janmam, that is, they will take birth as Ravana and Kumbhakarna. In darkness to Devas. He says, these two fellows, are in the embryo of Diti, who is pregnant now. So that is why the whole darkness, the whole universe is in darkness. The whole universe is shattered by the pregnancy of Diti. When Hiranyakasipu and Hiranyakshan were born, they were not born as babies. You can't see them as babies. They were born as an young adult. Immediately what happened? See, this Hiranyakshan, what he did is, he took his gadai and he went and he stole the earth. He stole the earth. He stole the earth and hid them inside the ocean. This Hiranyakshan is a bad fellow. So, he is a demon Rakshas. So, what happened is, he hid the earth and Bhuma Devi was suffering. Bhuma Devi is the earth, isn't it? Earth is considered as a mother earth. Why we call as a mother earth is because of Bhuma Devi. We pray to Bhuma Devi because she is the mother of tolerance. See, we are all walking, jogging, everything we are doing. So many bad things we are doing on the earth. Still she tolerates. So she is the icon of tolerance, Bhuma Devi. So what happens is, this Hiranyakshan, he hid the whole earth inside the ocean. But Swami, that is Lord Mahavishnu, he took the avataram as a boar. He came from the nose of Brahma, started as a small boar, a thumb-sized boar, and he grew up as a Yajna Varaha Murti, He was looking like a boar face. Boar, you have all seen boar with two, horns in its nose, and he became Yajna Murti, and he went inside the water and rescued this Mother Earth. You can see this, if you have all seen this avataram of Vishnu, you can see this boar, like, he rescues the Mother Earth. And now, this Hiranyakshan, he found out that this earth is not there. Who has taken the earth? See, I hid it inside the ocean. There is water everywhere. So, he just, he thought that Varuna is the, who is the lord of this water. He has taken the earth. So, he was in search of Varuna. So, he went in search of Varuna, but on the way, he met Narada Mahamuni. See, Narada has got an anugraham. That is, even the Rakshasas, even the demons, even the Rakshasas, they approach him. They approach him for suggestion. They ask Narada for advice. Devas ask advice from Narada, and also Asuras also ask advice from Narada. So, Narada has got such an anugraham. So, even Rakshasas approach him. So, then Hiranyakshan inquired, about this earth and about everything about this Varuna. And when Hiranyakshan was inquiring about this Varuna to Narada, he said, Narada said, Varuna is only an useless fellow. Don't go again, don't go behind Varuna. It's Vishnu. It's Mahavishnu, Mayavi. He's a Mayavi. So who took Varaha avatar, boar, avatar, and carried away the earth. So you have to go and search Mahavishnu. So Hiranyakshan, Hiranyakshan has actually hid the earth inside the ocean, which is taken by Vishnu. So then the Hiranyakshan became very furious, and a big battle between Mahavishnu and Varaha Murti. Mahavishnu's one of the avatar is Varaha Murti, Varaha avatar. And Hiranyakshan took place, and Hiranyakshan was killed by Varaha Murti. So, this Varaha avatar, isn't it? Though hearing this Varaha avatar, or Yajna Varaha Murti's avatar, it removes even the Brahmahati power. Killing a Brahmana is a top level crime. And even the dosham is, is wiped off when you hear this Varaha Murti's avatar. So, this after establishing the earth. Now Brahma is establishing the earth. Bhagavan has taken has rescued the Mother Earth, and now he's creating this earth now. Brahma. So, after establishing this earth, that is the universe, Jagat Srishti began. The earth is not enough, isn't it? So, this was told by Maitreya to Vidura, and then again it was told by Shukar to Parikshit. This is how it comes like. Brahma initially created a couple. Couple means a husband and wife, Swayambhuva Manu and Satarupai. And they have 3 daughters and 2 sons, Ahuti, Devahuti and Prasuti. And daughters, Uttanapada and Priyavrata. So we will see about, this Devahuti's Charitram and Kapila Vasudeva's Charitram in the next session we will see. Because now all the stories will come. In the Bhagavata Puranam, all the stories have got a divine, punyam. Hearing all these Manu Vamsham, gives all the punyams to us. Because, whatever punyam Manu's family, have, that will add on to our family also. See, that is why, we have to hear all the divine king's stories. It's not like hearing like any ordinary Arabian tales or something like that. It's a Bhagavata stories gives us lot of punya. So we close this session today, and we will, we'll see Kapila Vasudeva's Charitram in the next session. Okay, we'll close this. today. Chant Purnamadam. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamedachyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you all. Thank you. We'll see.
Ram Ram, Namaskaram, Nandri.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ji. Ram Ram.
You're all done.